pandemic has cast its shadow over the Jewish New Year celebrations. This year, the celebrations are muted. In fact, Jerusalem's Great Synagogue will be closed to the Jewish faithful for the first time in history to curb the risk of coronavirus infections. Here's a report.
It is the first time since 1958 that the board of directors of this synagogue had to take this very painful, I would say even devastating decision not to open its doors for the high holidays. The reason is a very simple one. The most important criteria in Judaism is the safety, the physical safety of every human being. And calculating our own consideration, we decided that this is the only consideration to adopt.
Every year, the Great Synagogue of Jerusalem comes alive with energy. Worshippers fly in from across the globe. The choir enthralls one and all. Families come together at lavish feasts to symbolize the start of a new year, called Rosh Hashanah. This year's Jewish New Year will be observed between September 18th and 20th. But for the first time since it opened in 1958, Jerusalem's Great Synagogue has decided to close its doors. For one simple reason, to curb the risk of coronavirus infections. The Orthodox place of worship has hosted Israeli dignitaries for decades, and now has taken the bold call to close down in the face of rising coronavirus cases across Israel and neighboring regions. Over in Israel, public spirits are low, and the high holiday season is coinciding with Israel's second nationwide lockdown. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government has announced a strict 3-week lockdown with new restrictions. For one, movement of people will be restricted to 500 meters from one's home. Gatherings are limited to 10 people indoors and 20 outdoors. And so Israelis will be unable to throng synagogues. All bars, restaurants and cultural venues will also be shut. The Israeli population is not too happy with this second lockdown. Many have been protesting outside Netanyahu's Jerusalem residence, even demanding he resign over his handling of the outbreak. Israel has recorded more than 171,000 COVID-19 cases with 1,165 COVID-19 deaths. The number of cases has spiked in recent weeks, prompting the government to go for a second lockdown. Israel has recorded between 3,000 and 4,000 new cases daily. And any gathering amid religious holidays could result in fresh clusters of infections. Israel's health officials say that the country's healthcare system is on the brink of collapse.
Yesterday I looked at the YouTube on our first services on what we call the Slichot night of last year. And I cried. Look, it's a very emotional period of time, dedicating ourselves to God, to one another. It's a very special atmosphere. People are devastated by people understand all the reactions that we got, literally but 2 out of thousands. Congratulate us, thinks that it was a courageous step to take. Nobody is happy, neither are we.
As he switches off the lights in the synagogue, the president is aware that his move will upset many of the Jewish faithful. But in the face of a pandemic, he knows it's the right thing to do. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.